This is Math Expressions Unit 1, Lesson 4, and let's start off by putting our first name and our class number and then today's date over here. And pause the video, and then when you're ready to go, start it up. Alright, sorry, you can hear trains in the background where I am. So we're going to explore division in this lesson, and we're going to be using some vocabulary words that are really kind of difficult. I got to tell you, most adults have difficulty with these terms. Except for the word division, we know what that means, like we divide up. But these dividends, divisor, and quotient, we'll get into what those mean at the bottom of this page. But first off, let's just go ahead and get on with the lesson. So right here it says, write an equation and solve the problem. So let's go ahead and look at number 1 here. Mark bought some bags of limes. There were 15 limes in each bag, and he bought 15 limes altogether. How many bags did he buy? So I'm going to do a little fact family triangle here. And please copy this down as I go too. So in multiplication division, the bottom is multiplication and the sides are division. And the larger amount, the big amount, is going to be at the top. So we're going to put 15 in there. Now, these are our factors, right? This is the number of groups right here. And we don't know what that is right now. That's a question mark. We don't know how many bags they're using, Mark is using. But we do know that there are 5 in each group. Now we can come over here, and so really our equation right now would look like how many groups of 5, right? How many bags did a group of 5 did it take to get to 15? And we can also kind of draw that using our models. Here's a bag with 5 limes in it. Here's a bag with 5 limes in it. Am I done yet? 5 plus 5, is that 15? Nope. Here's a bag with 5 in it. Am I done? Yes. So we know that it's 3 groups of 5. But we also learned in the previous lesson the equal shares. So we can start with the larger amount, 15, and we can divide them up into groups of 5. So here's one group of 5. Am I done yet? Have I divided all 15 of those up? Nope. So I draw another group of 5. Am I done yet? Nope. So here I go. Here's my third group of 5. Am I done? Have I divided them all up into equal groups? Yep. So that's the division. That's really a division model. And I call it the octopus model. It's called the equal shares model, but it's really for division. And we would write that equation. We start with 15. We divide them by 5 into groups of 5. And that equals how many groups? And that's 3. And what you're going to notice is that division is exactly the opposite of multiplication. It's just the backwards of multiplication. Instead of over here, instead of 3 times 5 is 15, we go 15 divided by 5 is 3. And right now I'm going to tell you that nobody does division in their heads. What they do is they really quickly do multiplication. So when somebody says, what's 15 divided by 5? Really quickly, people say, well, what times 5 is 15? So they're really doing multiplication when they're given a division problem. And that's why it's so important to know our multiplication and to be able to do those quickly. All right, so pause your video and copy down everything I just did there. And then when you're ready to go on, we'll look at number 2. Okay, so here we were looking at number 2. And it says there are 10 photographs on a wall. So that's our total amount. So we can use that equal shares model. There's 10 photographs on a wall. And they were in rows with 5 photographs in each row. So here's a row, and I'm going to put 5 in there. Am I done? No, because I still need to do another row. So really what we're doing again over here, we're saying how many rows of 5 equals 10. That's our kind of our unknown multiplication. And that's really what everybody does, even when we're talking about division. So we can go that backwards. 10 divided into groups of 5 is what? How many groups of that is that, or how many rows is that? And we've proved it over here that the answer is 2, right? 2. 2 groups of 5 is 10. 10 divided by 5 equals 2. So again, pause your video and copy all of that down if you haven't done that. And then when you're ready, start it back up. Okay, so here we go. The problems above can be represented by multiplication equations or by division equations. And they're showing us. And this is just really what we did. Problem number 1 here. We said how many groups of 5 is 15. And that's what we did up there. And then we also did this, well, if we start with 15 and we divide them by 5 is how many groups? And you can see that right here, they're using factors because these are factors up here. That's a factor and that's a factor. The numbers that you multiply together are called the factors. So factor times factor equals the product. That's multiplication. In division, they actually shouldn't have used this because they want us to know that this is actually not the product. If you start with a number, this is called the dividend. And one way I kind of remember this is kind of weird, but I see this word end in there. And it's not what we're going to end up with. This is actually what we're going to start with. We're going to divide end. We're going to dividend. And we're going to start with that amount. And then the number that we're going to, is this, instead of thinking of it as a factor, we're going to think of this as the divisor. Divisor. And then our answer is actually called the quotient. I have to remember how to spell that. Quotient. So in multiplication, factor, factor, product. In division, dividend, divisor, quotient. Really though, right, it's just multiplication. It's still the product and a factor and a factor. So I get why they're saying that, but if we want to be accurate, the number that we start with in division is actually called the dividend, and then the number you're dividing it by is called the divisor, and the answer to division is not called the product. The answer to division is called the quotient. So just to be aware of that. And kind of the same thing here on number 2. We said how many groups of 5 is 10, and we came up with 2. 10 divided by 5 is 2, right? So go ahead again, pause the video, copy all of that down that I just did. And then when you're ready to go, start it back up. Okay, so here we go. We're looking at it down here now. Here are some ways to write a division. That seems weird. It seems like they left something out. The following all mean 15 divided by 5 equals 3. So what they're saying is that you're going to see different symbols. Like there's different symbols for multiplication, there's different symbols for division as well. And all of those mean division. This is the one you're going to see most often. When you see this, we're going to think fractions. And when you're going to see this, it's often, that's how we write a fraction in a straight line, like we're writing a sentence. But all 3 of those mean division. And then over here, this is what you're going to see as we get into more and more get into division. You're going to see this is kind of a way that we're going to see it a lot. So again, the number that you're dividing is called the dividend. The number you're dividing it into is called the divisor. And then the answer to division is called the quotient. All right, so make sure you got all that done, and then we'll go on to the next page. All right, so let's go ahead and go on to the next page here. All right, so as always, even though there's no name line, let's go ahead and put our first name, our class number, and then the date that you're working on this page, because you might be working on this on a different date, and it's just important to keep track of that. Now, this is really going to be a review. So we're looking at math tools, drawings, and equations. And right here it says you can use equal shares drawings to help solve division problems. And here's how you might solve problem number 1 on page 23. Now we already did this. I mean, we've seen this, right? So here's the octopus model, right? You start with that total and you divide it, right? And then we also showed this, although, yeah, in both ways, we showed them in that way too. So one way is to start with the total, which is 15 divided by 5, and we did that. And we came up with, we needed 3 groups, right? And then the other way, right here, says to draw groups of 5, right? So we said, here's a group of 5. Am I done? Nope. Here's a group of 5. Yep. And it says, okay, you go 5, 10, 15. Yep, you can stop when it's done, right? So then you get 3 groups. So that's model, and we've already done that. Down here is just another model that we're not going to use. But what it's saying is kind of that array idea, right? We can say, well, here's one group or one row of or whatever. Here's another group, right? So this is for problem number 2 where we said 10 divided by 5. What does that equal? Equals 2. So that's why we have these 2 groups. And then we can connect them like that and say 10. I'll tell you, we're not going to use that model. What we're going to use is we're going to use the octopus model when we're doing division, and we're going to be using just circles like this when we're doing multiplication. So those are the 2 models that we're going to be using in this class. So here we go. Actually, you don't need to write anything on yours up there. We'll just keep going here. It says, write an equation and solve the problem. So we're going to show our work over here. So number 3 says, at a bake sale, Louisa bought a lemon square for 35 cents. If she paid using only nickels, right, those are 5 cents, right? How many nickels did she use? So let's use the octopus model here. Okay, so we're going to start with our total, 35 cents. And she's going to use nickels, right? So we have 35. Those are our 2 knowns, our 35 and 5. So we're going to go, okay, so here is a group of 5. Am I done? So really we're saying how many groups of 5 is 35? And we're going to write that backwards as a division problem. What's 35 divided into groups of 5? How many groups is that? And in each case, it's going to be the same answer, right? So are we done? One group of 5 over here? Nope. So let's draw another group of 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. There we go. So now we can count the groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is our answer. So how many nickels? And so our answer is going to be nickels. She used 7 nickels. All right, so pause the video and copy all that and to show me your work. And then when you're ready, let's go on to number 4. Okay, so now we're looking at number 4. It says, Mr. Sue bought a sheet of 20 stamps. So that's our big number. That's the body of our octopus here, 20 stamps. And there were 5 stamps in each row. So again, we're going to go groups of 5, right? Because how many rows? So how many groups of 5 is 20? Or 20 divided into groups of 5 is how much? Those are our equations. So now here we go with our octopus, our equal shares model. There's a group of 5. Am I done? So 5, no, 5, 10, 15, 20. So there I can stop. How many groups is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it takes 4 groups of 5 to make 20, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. All right, so pause the video. Make sure you got all that copied down, and then we'll go on to the next page. All right, so let's go ahead and go on to the next page. And of course, you're going to get tired of me saying this, you guys, but go ahead, your name, number, and then the date that you're working on this page. So pause the video, as always. When you need to, pause the video, and then start it up again. So here we go. What's the error? This is our friend Puzzled Penguin. And it says, he says, Dear math students, today I found the unknown number in this division equation by using a related multiplication. Is my calculation correct? And of course, he's never correct. We've never known him to be correct. So we need to fix this problem. And so he said 40 divided by 5 is some amount. And he said, well, it's 9. 9 times 5 is 40. And he says, if this is not correct, right? If it's not correct, please correct my work and tell me what I did wrong. How do you know my answer is wrong? Your friend, Puzzled Penguin. Okay. So let's use what we know about division. Let's use our models. So let's find some space. Let's just do it right above him here. So if we start with 40 if that's our starting amount, right, and we divide it into groups of 5, so we're basically going to be counting by 5. Am I done? Nope. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. There we go. So we've counted to 40 by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So how many groups was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it was really only 8 groups. And so write a response to Puzzle Penguin. All we need to do is we could say 40 divided by 5 is really 8. And then we can flip that around. 8 times 5 is 40. And if we've shown our work like we did, and we've written those, that's all that I really need you to do on this one. So go ahead and pause the video and copy all that down, write all that down with your answer. And then when you're ready to go on, start it back up. Okay, so now we're looking at this bottom part down here. And it says to find the unknown numbers. So really, and these are going to be the same. The same number is going to go in each of those boxes. So I'm going to leave this up to you. And what I would say is over in this area, show me your multiplication. So say like this. Here's a group of 5. Am I at 20 yet? Right? So there's another group of 5. Am I there yet? Nope. There we go. So how many groups did it take? It took 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 groups of 5 to make 20. And so we're over here. So that's really all I want you to do is in this space. Good to do that. So go ahead and pause the video, complete that, and then when you're ready to go on, we'll go on to the last page. All right, so here we go. Last page. Come on up. So again, name, number, and the date that you're working on this page. And then when you're ready to go, let's finish this up. Okay, so we're just going to do a bunch of word problems, and what I'm going to do is I'll demonstrate on number 9 here, and then the rest of them, what I'll do is I'll read the problem, but you need to show me all the rest of the work. So I'll show you what I want you to do using number 9, and then the rest of it is yours, okay? So here we go. Number 9 says, Aziz put 15 ice cubes in 5 glasses. He put the same number of ice cubes in each glass. How many ice cubes did he put in each glass? So the directions actually say, write an equation and solve the problem. And then over here it says to show your work. So we have 15 that we're going to divide into 5 glasses. So this one's pretty straightforward because we don't know how many ice cubes he's putting in each glass. We just know that a glass is like a group. So let's do our octopus model on all of these. There's my 15. And this time I'm going to go, here's 1 glass, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to divide up those 15 into 5 different glasses, right? So 15 divided into 5 equal glasses. How many is that? So now again, we're going to think backwards. We're going to think what times 5 equals 15. We're going to think backwards. So what is that? What times 5? Let's count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. What did you get? Hopefully you got 3. And that's it. 3 times 5 is 15. So 3 is going to go into each of those. And now if we count by 3s, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, you'll see that it. So it took 3, what are we counting? Ice cubes in each glass. All right. So what I did is I circled the numbers that I need, that the problems give me. I used that equal shares drawing or the octopus model drawing. I showed a division equation with my answer and my label. So I did that, and that's what you need to do. So let's pause the video right now, copy everything I did there, and then when you're ready to go on to number 10, and then number 11, number 12, on and on like that, okay? So here we go. So pause the video, and when you're ready, start back up. All right, so number 10 says Lori's uncle gave her 20 stickers. So let's circle that. That's our starting amount. She put the same number of stickers on 5 folders. So it's kind of like glasses. So we have 5 folders. So this is really similar to what we just did on number 9. So again, pause the video, show me all that work, and when you're ready to go, let's go on to number 11. All right, so here we are, number 11. Todd cut a board that measured 45 inches in length, and he cut it into 5 pieces. So yeah, look at that. It's 5 groups. So all of these are going to be 5 groups. We just have a different starting amount. So they're all going to look really similar to that, because all of them are going to be 5 groups. So far, let me take a quick group. I don't know about the bottom one here. So anyway, how many inches does each piece measure? So he cut the board. Each measures the same number of inches, right? So go ahead and show me your work on that one, and then when you're ready to go, we'll look at number 12. All right, so here we go, number 12. 10 students gathered into 5 groups. So there we go, our starting amount, right? That's our dividend, and then this is going to be our divisor. That's how many groups we're going to divide. So 10 students gathered into 5 groups to play a math game. The same number of students were in each group. So there you go. So pause the video, show me all of your work, and then when you're ready to go, start the video back up. Okay, now we're going to look down here, check understanding. This says, what multiplication equation with an unknown number can you write to find 20 divided by 5 equals what? So really what you're going to do is you're just going to write a multiplication. You're going to write a multiplication equation. So you're going to just flip this around, right? You're going to go backwards, and instead of 20 divided by 5 equals what? Show me what you're going to do. All right. And that will be the end. When you're done with that, that will be the end of lesson 4.